Masterpiece Collectibles. So for... Oh shoot! What did I break? Oh no. Oh damn it. I already break the thing before I even start. Oh, this is not even a joke. Wow, I have no comments. How the hell I even break this? Yeah. Oh my god. Oh, this is even chaotic. You know what's funny? I haven't even started the video properly, right? I'm still trying to figure out how to do the intro. Then this happened. I don't know how many times this happened already. Whatever. Because today, love it or hate it, even though I broke one of these small things, I set days ahead for me. It doesn't really matter because today I got 3 more of it. Actually 2 more A22s. Because today is Masterpiece Love Day. I'm going to show some of this Masterpiece stuff and talk over some of the Masterpiece releases that was released this year ahead of ToyCon, because I'm pretty sure ToyCon this year is a banger. Might as well just get the old stock cleared out right before we talk about the main stuff. But before that, I want to bring your attention to something that I actually missed out a lot. Over the past few months, there's been something interesting that's going on, courtesy of the diecast Discord group that I was inside. Basically, a few hundred kilometers away from Singapore, there's this guy in Hong Kong that reviews miniature-scale models. He reviews models from manufacturers like Network Shuttle, ATM, and even Masterpiece. It's all in Cantonese, but I can help you translate some of it. For example, his gripes is that the CDG paint is very thick and oily, and you can see here, it's still quite the same. You can see there's this kind of mark that's still persistent. This is like, I think what happened when I just leave it playing for quite some time. His gripe is that the CG paint is thick and oily. Like what I said, I oversighted on. There were some random black spots and there are some parts that's not really clear. Another example he mentioned in general was that the CGs, right, these 2 wheel arches here, this whole connecting wheel arch here is apparently collapsed. He said that this is a mold issue because it has been persistent across all the CDG releases so far, especially when the newest batch of CDGs were released in May. The May one was cool. Why I didn't buy it? Because I wish it was on like another important service, 147. I think 147 has like a ton of CDGs for the longest time, but then Masterpiece never released one, so funny. And yeah, that's generally the gist of what to expect. Honestly, for the longest time, if you can see here already, Masterpiece quality control can be questionable, but I mean, if you can look past it, right, I think, which is a very big issue, because this is not the first time my mirrors broke already. My best recommendation is, if you want to keep it right, just keep it in the box. That's what I'm probably going to do with this already. Let's look through all of this that I have here today, and let's take a look at how it performs. So starting off with the first one, just for a good reference point, this is the Ken Shop exclusive Scania KUB 1110 scale one. This was, I think, released in August. The EDS was on 151, and you can see standard Masterpiece stuff. It's been ages since I actually touched one. And behind here you can see it's a Ken Shop exclusive, blah blah blah. And if I pull open sticker here, this is how it looks. It gives you the size for the big and the small EDS, but I kind of feel like the big one always never look correct. In real life, right, when they paste it, it doesn't look really accurate to its size, so I don't know. Maybe it's just my own opinion. Honestly, the Ken Shop ones is quite questionable at times. There was like another release of the Ken Shop one on 95, I think, and that one, right, like the back was, I know it's realism purposes. They had like this 95 Desto that's like cut out, and honestly it looks really questionable. I don't really like that one. Ken Shop releases have been quite questionable, but I think this is probably the best that is available around. And here, so let's take a look at how it is. It looks quite clean as always. You can see this is a Euro 5 one, SBS 648E on 151. On the side here, quite standard. The 151 kind of looks a bit weird, but okay lah, I'll just take it lah. I don't know, I've not seen Hanover displays in that small size, but I don't know, it feels very weird, but then it's correct at the same time. I don't need to probably correct myself lah. Generally, it looks quite okay, quite to scale actually. And like any other Scania KUB product that they release, is actually licensed. So you can see below here, it's an official licensed product, so that's cool. The quality control on my unit looks quite okay. There isn't much issues and it looks perfectly fine. So overall, this is Gucci, this is fine. But just for a quick comparison, I just want to see whether this is correct or not. I'm bringing out this Euro 4 KUB. This is a slightly different KUB. It's still more or less similar lah. Obviously the bigger difference is the aircon port, which is what I'm trying to look out for, and yeah, it's obviously different lah. Also, you got the spec details here. Just for context, here the slightly different rego plate here, the back here also with the blinker. It's quite faithful. This SBS 8123C. And one thing I realized is because this is a slightly newer model, right, this one here, over time they have actually engraved the Masterpiece Collectibles logo instead of just putting like a small print on it. So let's move on to the A22s. And honestly, for the longest time I always wanted a pixel livery A22. The problem is how Masterpiece went about doing it is really questionable, really make people waste their money if they are very impulsive like me. In July they released the Xiangxiang Hunan Cuisine ad. This is the first officially licensed diecast ad that they have done, compared to, say, if you look at the Tower Transit one or the Boss exclusive Citaros and SMRT A22 ad. This is the first official one, and you can see behind here it gives you a blurb about what the Hunan cuisine is about. And when they released this in pixel and stripes livery, and following up this was the iWorks SG ad. And I still don't understand up till today. I don't know how come that one sold out really well. Maybe it's because it's a Tower EDS, but that's just crazy if that's the sole reason. It's a legit ad. I've actually snapped the bus ad quite a lot of times. I even posted on IG already, so yeah, just for comparison, here's how it kind of looks in real life. So it should be quite close to how it is, and honestly it'll look cool and realistic, apart from like having base livery and whatever. I mean, soon you can put your own ads on base livery buses you want. Wing wing. These official ones I can still take it, but then in the meantime you can still have these ones that's semi-official but still have like water slide decals for the operator logos. So yeah, let's take a look at how this looks. Oh, oh, and here it is. Because the printing is slightly different, they have added this extra sheet of plastic wipe so that it will protect the printing over time. And fun fact, if you got the pixel one like me, right beneath this ad body is actually a base pixel livery. You can still see the end of the pixel livery right at the bottom. That's a strange little thing that they've done. Probably cost a little bit more money, but whatever. I don't know why is it blue, but okay. Anyways, the whole model to scale looks quite okay. Judging by the ad that I've seen in real life, it looks quite close to it, and the fine prints actually look quite clean also. And you can see this is SMB 1457B on 61. There were multiple buses with the ad, but this is just one of them. And the funny part is that behind, if you look very closely, usually when you see like ads behind, right, they'll usually not cover up the EDS position. They'll usually leave a small space for the ad. Well, in this one you can see it's combined all together. It's just one box in one common texture all together. It's quite okay. There's no big issues with it. Again, this is just texture on. But then you can see here on this side, everything here is just separately carved already. There's no Masterpiece logo or whatever. Everything is just the way it is. So yeah, this is quite cool and stuff, but what about the one that you are actually trying to go for, which really honestly annoys me a lot? The base livery. This is like, I don't want to call it scummy because you're still getting good models after all like this, but I find it very annoying that they always hype you up for whatever you want for the longest time, and then you fall for like whatever small little shit that they released in between, and then you still get this. I mean, they still earn money, you still get models. It is what it is. It's the same case with this and the CDG. Last year during Diecast Expo, there will obviously be a plain SBS Transit livery with like Deso and whatever. That only came out during ToyCon. And then with the A22, when the original Stripes one was released last year during ToyCon, I thought that they will release the Pixel one someday. Well, someday became 8 months later. Somehow it's that slow. And this is the base livery SMRT one. This is on service 980. I want to go to the toilet. This is the base livery one on service 980 here, and here you can see the body still shows the livery more like this. Same stuff here. You can see this A2254, this A2257, this is the Hunan one. Yeah, same stuff, 1110, and back here should be the logos for SMRT as shown here. It only has the first gen one. It doesn't have the SMRT buses logo and the red SMRT ones. Let's take a look at this. And voila, this is the full base livery version, no ads included, and I can start to feel the oil again. This part feels very oily, like there's a lot of shine to it, in particular compared to the back, because there's a lot of printing here at the back for the pixel, but here it feels very smooth. Like it's a bit oily, that kind of feel I don't know why, but the top here, this one feels way more oilier than this one. You can see 961 Gelang Lorong 1, and it's an SG Voif unit SG1705S, and I think this one would have already been an SBS Transit unit today because is it actually? Let me check as always. This is one of those that got moved over to Ulu Pandan and is now doing 160 cross-border service. But I'm pretty sure that there's obviously an era where with the red logo and the SMRT buses logo. I don't know why they didn't include it. This bus obviously have went through those eras. The 160 deployment was a 2021 thing. I don't know why they didn't include the other logos inside, but whatever. I think this is supposed to represent an earlier era. That's why you don't even see like the wheelchair logo and stuff. Like for example here or even here. This is supposed to be an earlier era in the first place. They only give you the first gen logos. And a small detail you can see is behind the giveaway sticker is just this small one. Compared to this one, which I have last year, which I think I mentioned already, it's very crooked. It also has the old style bus lane kind of sticker which this one doesn't have, because this is a later era A22. Either way, all the SMRT buses no longer have that, so whatever. I don't know why there's like small scratch in here, you can see. But yeah, it still looks quite cool. I don't find any issues with it, and overall it's okay. Alright, so it's been 2 months after the previous video has been shot. It is actually January 2025 when I'm filming this. The reason is because I want to kind of finish up whatever Masterpiece has kind of released before ToyCon, like what was the original premise in the video. And as you guys may have already known, during ToyCon they released buses like, for example, this one here, and also the Hispano Habit blah blah blah. If you haven't watched that video, you can watch it. Links is in the info card right now or in the description In between when I originally filmed that video and ToyCon, there was a few 1110 releases in the bus side. Like for example, there was the Hong Kong limited edition A22, which is in the Huanggang border shuttle bus livery. It was a yellow color livery that they have That's more to cater towards the Chinese audiences who supported them via their Taobao That's why for that release there was very limited stocks in Singapore, but they released quite a few on Taobao. The other release along the way, days before ToyCon, was this. The 49-1110 A22 Singapore bus, aka a Mustache MAN SG1721J. This is based on 5-ish or so years before it got redeployed over to UP like a few months ago in 2024 on service 16 This is on A51E, and obviously one major difference is that the box have significantly changed It was actually this model onwards that have this slightly different packaging and design Now the bus is shown entirely in full, and other than that I think the layout is still more or less the same Moving forward after this release is where all your ToyCon A22s and whatnot featured like more information and a slightly more different one So other than that, you can see below is the 49th in the whole Masterpiece Collectibles Singapore series here, and you can see it's made of die-cast ABS 1110 scale 14 plus and above long-term exposure warnings here and there. Anyways, I'm just going to open it right now because we've seen a ton of A22 unboxings already in this video, and I will explain to you what I've learned after that filming also, so that I can summarize a general idea of why there was so much of the same stuff released. And here it is. So one thing to also take note, which you can't really see properly just now because of the water slide decal blocking, is that this is an official Gemilang licensed product. Now we're really talking Gemilang. The only difference is I think it's still not officially licensed by MAN. It's just licensed by the bodywork builder not the manufacturer But that shouldn't be too difficult. I've seen Tiny do it, I've seen Omzi done it way easier, so I guess when it comes to this this shouldn't be that difficult to begin with. Here's the A22. Again, not really much to send home. Even you can see the mirror is still that long, but you can see generally it's in this slightly different shade of green if you compare like say your normal Masterpiece large green. That's because this is obviously based on the darker Mustache era At the time during the BCM transition, I think Gemilang didn't get the exact memo on how large green is supposed to look like, and they painted I think 25 or 26 MAN A22 series, or the SG Voifs as I call it, and also some other MAN A95s with this darker large green color scheme with the Mustache in front. It's only until the Euro 6 where the colors are more fitted correctly Since then there's a few buses that has the front Mustache gone lah, starting with I think 1715C. By the way, this is based on a very recent spec as evidenced by the made for families and the wheelchair pram stroller sticker, as you can see over here. There we go. I think it's still quite blurry. I can probably take a separate shot. And one last thing before I kind of briefly talk about what I've learned is this water slide decal. You can see as SGL bus blah blah blah. Front, back, side, all four sides, and the white one. So yeah, it's quite okay, quite sufficient for this bus. And now I think I want to clarify whatever I've probably said earlier, because it's been months. I didn't actually review the footage before I filmed this, so I'm just gonna briefly explain. That's what you have seen in the video throughout. In 2024, a lot of the releases is usually the same few buses, the CDG, the A22, the KUB, and sometimes they also have ads like this. And if you have seen kind of what I've kind of mentioned on the Kunnan, I've said many people have actually complained saying that Masterpiece have begun pulling a tiny. In other words, they've begun like making more predominantly advertisement based heavier variants, and they wrap it up and call it a new model lah. Like for example, this automobile one, you know, it's a full body wrap, blah blah blah, no big deal. Fast forward to a few months later, I can call this a brand new one. Hey look, it's an entirely different ad. It's still a new bus. And let's say a few months later, oh hey, look at this. Oh, it's another livery. It's still a new bus. You get the point. Basically, that's what many people have been kind of criticizing Masterpiece for the last year. They are just re-releasing new models. They are re-releasing new buses in that sense where it's a livery swap, a new ad. Just a small minute difference, but you got to realize something, and I think this is what many people actually didn't bother to realize. One of these models are expensive. If you have seen videos by Masterpiece behind the scenes showing how the models are done, you know that this is not a very easy task. There is a lot of money spent in how the bus should be designed. Obviously that's the smallest one, but the more bigger one has to be the production cost done at the factory. How much it costs to produce the bus, how much to make the negatives for the bus before mass producing one of these ones. And sometimes the cost can rack up incredibly expensive. That is also the same reason why at the very start, when you see some of the newer models gets released, the price tend to be a lot higher. And once more and more similar models gets released, the price starts to dip. That's because the seller or the manufacturer have already realized that they are beginning to get their return on investment, and they begun to break even with the cost lah. And that's the same thing. Based on what I've heard from some of the people at Masterpiece is that they are trying to break even the cost of the buses they produce lah. If you think about it, they released the KUB, they released the CDG, and a lot of other models including this, technically is A22 also. So it's no surprise that they need additional few of these produced to kind of cover back the production cost that they have lah. And that's something that I think many people kind of fail to realize. What many people want is entirely new models every time. That's why also you can see sometimes when Tiny does shit like this, right, they probably think it's the best way to to gain money, which I already called them out before. I say it's bullshit because this, but you have to think about it lah. Sometimes it's more of a economically viable option for them lah. Just like how Tiny doesn't really care much about the overseas market like Singapore for example, because it's such a small market. In sharp contrast, for Masterpiece, Singapore is the main market and they're trying to earn back all the money as much as they can for their production costs, and it's not cheap like what I've said. In probably future releases or any other modifications or adjustments done to the A22 in the future, right, the first thing that they may try to fix is actually this very inaccurate mirror lah, which I've most likely mentioned earlier. Again, I've not checked the footage, I'm very lazy. With that, that kind of marked whatever Masterpiece have actually released in terms of the 1110 space in 2024, right before ToyCon and the whatever stuff. Moving forward in 2025, since I'm filming this separately now, I can tell you is that for sure some of the buses that I think they're probably gonna release last year will be released this year. An example is actually the OC500LE. That one has been shown a lot of times. You can see like how, for example, the bare silver ones is like that is how you usually look when they just finish the negatives and the first molds gets done before mass production takes place. The OC500LE may get released over the next few months and there's definitely more to follow but for now I think that pretty much wraps up what Masterpiece has in 2024 right before ToyCon. And also that's all for the Masterpiece love that we have for today If you are new here, do remember to like, subscribe and turn on post notifications. If you want to check out more of these videos, they are coming out very soon, so do stay tuned to that. There's a lot of interesting things coming up. With that, thanks for watching and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.